I'm Jonathan Holth, and I'm co-owner of the Toasted Frog Restaurants. I haven't necessarily followed a typical path. I've had many different jobs in my lifetime before I decided to get into the restaurant business. I did go to a couple different colleges, worked part-time for a few years when I should have been working full-time, had a few serving jobs through college, and it was while I was in college at UND in Grand Forks that I really just fell in love with not just food and beverage, but the dining experience as a whole, and decided that this is what I wanted to do for a living. The best education that I received was just really working in the trenches, so to speak, of the restaurants. Watching chefs cook, tasting everything that came out of the kitchen, and just really taking notes and paying attention to everything that was happening, both good and bad, in every restaurant that I worked in. Once I had the idea that I wanted to do this full-time, my business partner and I spoke a little bit. We became aware that a location in downtown Grand Forks opened up that we thought would be perfect for us. We began to talk to some advisors, and we went to our first bank, and they laughed at us. My credit score was as low as it could possibly be. The bank would not take my couch in my apartment as collateral. We went to our second bank, and they were a little more hesitant, but a little more receiving as well. And we finally found a bank that was willing to give us a shot. We finally found a group of investors that were willing to give us a shot, and the rest is blossom. Well, with the success that we had in Grand Forks, we started looking for a second location. We chose Bismarck, and at the time I was a single guy, and I said, you know what, I'll move to Bismarck and I'll get that one off the ground. After I committed to moving here, I met my now wife. We've been married for just over a year, and we have a 5-month-old daughter as well. So it's been, needless to say, a busy year for us. There are a lot of statistics out there about, 75% of restaurants fail within the first 2 years, 90% of restaurants fail within the first 5 years. We just felt that if we kept putting out great food with great service and great beverages and a fun atmosphere, that we could be successful. You can't do that by not being in the restaurant. You can't do it as a hobby. You have to do it 100%, and you have to put your heart and soul into it. So the goal for me was always to own my own restaurant by the time I was 35. Just so happened it happened when I was 27. I'm Jonathan Holth, and I went from managing restaurants to starting my own restaurant in North Dakota.